Hello, good afternoon. How are you today? We're quite excited that you've all come in to take part in this training. Make sure that all your friends that you know who are taking part in this training to make them join. Likewise, stay focused and also get things ready for you as we're going to start in just a few minutes. But since we're remaining with a lot of people who haven't joined yet, so let's wait for all your fellow learners to come and join us. I see only 63 students who are online, but I think there are more students that are going to be part of this training. So accordingly, we're going to wait for them, as this is the first day, for like, let's say 10, 15 minutes, and then we're going to start. But for tomorrow and all the other days, we're going to start exactly the time that we said. That's going to be at 5 p.m. or 11 o'clock Ethiopian time. So for those of you from other part of the world, not Ethiopian, so it's going to be starting at 5 p.m. GMT +3 or East African time. So make sure to join exactly at that time. So please go ahead and tell your friends who actually registered for this training but not actually online currently. Let them know that the training has started. And for you, get set, bring a couple of, a bottle of water if you'd like to have, or maybe a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, and then we should start in like 10 minutes. Okay, so for those of you who have joined, let's go ahead and start our introduction. So this is Lidatu. I'm going to be your trainer for this training. I am from INFNOVA technology side. So I'll be teaching you web development programming for the next 5 days, 2 hours each day, and the last day for website development project at the end of the week. So this is me, yeah. So I will pass on to the other part of the team who are going to actually introduce themselves also. So we have assistants that are going to support you throughout the training. They're going to answer your questions, whether it's in the chat or in the Telegram group. So I believe everyone have joined the Telegram group. So make sure that you have joined the community Telegram group, and everyone can keep on asking their questions there. And the assistants, teaching assistants would be supporting you to overcome your challenge. Yeah, so I'm going to pass to the other trainer, that's David. David, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Okay. Can everyone? Hello, everyone. My apologies. Yeah, you seem to have a bit of feedback. So I am David, and I will be part of the teaching assistant team. So if you have any questions, you can ask them in the chat or on the Telegram group, and we will do our very best to respond quickly. Yeah, so happy training, and Lidetu, I pass the ball back to you.
Okay, so training assistants, can you join through the TA group that I shared, the StreamYard, so that you can be able to introduce yourself. Okay, the TAs, I am waiting for you to join through the StreamYard. Okay, maybe in that case, maybe they're having a couple of challenge, maybe that's how. So in that case, I'm going to make you all explain yourselves. So 3 questions. First one is, what's your name? Say your name. And the second one is, which country are you from? And the third question is going to be, what are you going to apply this training for? Okay, so your name, maybe let's leave that part because you're filled in the form. What's your name? And the second one is, so the first one is what's your name? And the second one is, okay, so to answer, the first one is what's your name, the second one is what's your profession, and the third one is what's your country. Okay, So name, country, and your profession. Okay, so I see some of the assistants already here. So I'm going to stage Nathaniel. So Nathaniel, you're on stage. You may introduce yourself. Yeah, go ahead. So actually, maybe I'm going to stage a couple of you assistants so that you can go ahead and introduce yourself. Okay, let's start off with Nathaniel, then you can take turns.
Okay. Hello everyone. My name is Nathaniel Musa and I'm a fifth year an electrical engineer student in
Okay, so I see some of.
Fatima. And Samal?
Yeah, it's someone, Nathi.
Okay. So I'm a full stack developer. Yeah, that's all.
Okay, Robel.
Salam, Robi Dubal. My name is Robert. I am a second year student at AAU. I am currently studying information systems and I am excited to be a teacher assistant that will help you out all.
Okay, Kalazad.
Okay. Hello everyone. My name is Khalid Kayari, and I'm going to be a teaching assistant for this incredible training, and hope we will have very exciting moment. Thank you.
Okay, great. So it's good that we have been introduced. Let's see who we have in the trainee side. So the trainees have been saying where they're from, and I'm going to spot out some of them. So, okay, there's a lot of people that I've missed. So I'm going to spot out Ash from Yemen. She's a PR student. And we have Kalkidan from Ethiopia, CS major. And we have Naol, that's from Ambo, IT student. We have Safo Godana from Ethiopia. We have Galila from Ethiopia. She's a student. And Helena Shanafi from Ethiopia, AU software engineering student. We have Dagem Wandemagain from Ethiopia, he's also a student. We have Zion Tadessa from Ethiopia. So for those of you who've just joined, what we're doing is we're trying to introduce ourselves, say your name, where you're from, and also what's your profession currently. So we have Matala Pearl. I'm sorry if I'm saying the name incorrectly. So he's a project administrator at Botswana Cooperative Association and got a master's in archives and record management, student at the University of Botswana. It's an honor to have you, Matla. I hope I said your name correctly. We have Afomia from Ethiopia, high schooler. We have Magarisa from Ethiopia, mechanical engineering. So we have people from different backgrounds that range from business to engineering to computer science, software engineering, and also management, and students from high school. It's quite, it's going to be quite an astonishing training, because there are a lot of people who are here from different part of the world, also different part of Ethiopia. So Nabil, he's a third year I student from Hawassa. And we have Rafik Awol from Ethiopia. He said, I'm an innovator and entrepreneur at JIC. I'm attending this program to advance my skills. Thank you. We are happy to have you, and it's an honor. We have Mohammed from Haromaya. He's a student. Sophia Mohammed from Ethiopia. So for those of you who've joined a bit later, so what we're doing is we're introducing ourselves. You say your name, where you're from, and also your profession. Okay, so I think it's about time for us to start. Maybe for those of your friends and fellow trainees who haven't joined, just give them a reminder. But to use our time effectively, we need to start. I need you to keep in mind for tomorrow, we won't be spending 20 minutes waiting for this training to start. This is just because the first day. For the next ones, we're going to start right away. So make sure to join accordingly, and we'd jump directly to our training. So, so to understand how the training is going to follow. I'm going to present a bit. Just before that, I'm going to send out a baseline form. So this baseline form is just for us to understand how how the knowledge that you have before the training. So we're going to send the same thing, the final survey at the end of the training, so that we would understand how the training actually supported you. So accordingly, I'm going to send out this link, and please go ahead and register, filling the form. It should take 3 minutes. So I'm putting this link in the group. Okay, I've put it in the group. Go ahead and now fill it out. Okay, so what we're doing at the moment is, for those of you who've joined a bit later, so go ahead and fill out the baseline survey. This is going to be used for us to understand where you're standing at this point in your web development skill. So fill in that form and we should be going. So make sure that you fill in every form that we send. Some of it is exams, the other is for the purpose of attendance. So everything that you fill in is very vital for you to get your certificate. So make sure that you fill in appropriately everything that we send. So accordingly, let's go ahead and start out the training. Okay, so for today, we're going to start with some introduction about the web and the internet, what it really is, and then we're going to proceed into some of the basic HTMLs. So for the first 2 days, we're going to learn about HTML. Hopefully, we're going to complete it by then. And for the next 2 days also, for the coming 2 days, which is going to be on Wednesday and Thursday, we're going to learn CSS, how we're going, I'm going to explain what it means. And then later at the end, we're going to learn on Fridays some more concepts regarding making a beautiful site. And also we're going to add what JavaScript is. I'm going to show you some examples, but this training does not really include a lot of JavaScript. So, but necessarily, I'm going to show you a couple of things. And lastly, you're going to do a project based on a random theme that we're going to make. So you're going to go ahead and make your teams, and then you're going to start to do your project, which you're going to present on Saturday. So in that sense, let's go ahead and start the training, but I know that some of you haven't filled in the baseline survey. Please go ahead and fill the baseline survey. Let's start the training. Okay, so we're going to discuss in the first section about the internet, website, what is the difference between a client and server, what's a DNS browser, and what is it rendering, what does it mean by rendering in a browser, and also front end and back end. These are terms that you have heard a lot. But what are they actually? So we're going to start this considering the training is for complete beginners and people from different backgrounds. Let's go ahead and start this. Okay, make sure that you're active in the Telegram group or also in the chat so that I can also try to answer some of your questions, but the assistants will be supporting you in answering every questions that you have. Okay, so what is the internet? Before I say anything, actually, can you go ahead and try to answer? Maybe let me give you 30 seconds, 40 seconds for you to answer in the chat or in Telegram group. Go ahead and say your answers. What is the internet? Okay, so I see that a lot of you have answered. Ashaber say network of networks. Brooke said internet is a global network of networks. You guys are answering correctly. Hemu said computer network providing a variety of information and communication facility consisting of interconnected networks using standardized communication protocols. That's good. That's good. Okay, so you've said it well. So the internet is actually is something that have transformed a lot to the world. So the AI arrived at this point a couple of years ago, and it really transformed the way that people are living. Before AI, it was the internet that actually was that had actually significantly changed the way that the humans live in this world, like the Industrial Revolution has done and everything. So it's a network with a global connectivity. And internet, sometimes people consider it to be one big machine, but necessarily it's millions and probably billions of machines that are interconnected in different parts of the world. So your device that you're using currently, like your smartphone or maybe your smartwatch or maybe your computer, is part of the internet. And so your device would connect into something that we call the Wi-Fi or maybe local area network. So if you trace it backwards, then that Wi-Fi or local area network is actually connected into a larger network. For Ethiopian case, let's say the Ethio Telecom, there is a tower around your village that you can all find. So in that specific tower goes connecting you into a bigger connection path, which is mostly known as the backbone of the internet, and that's the ocean cable. And that ocean cable goes into connecting you the specific server that you're looking for. For example, if you go ahead and write youtube.com, then it goes through your Wi-Fi to your local internet provider like Tele or Safaricom in Ethiopia. And that Safaricom or Tele goes through the backbone of the ocean cable into the specific server of YouTube near you. And then it fetches whatever that you have searched and come back through the same path. So just for you to understand a bit about the ocean cable, I would like you to actually check out this video.
About 1.5 million kilometers long that are working or are in construction. Each cable transmits an average of 100 gigabytes of data. Multiple light wavelengths are passed through the fiber optic cables for faster speeds. The cables are made up of a fiber optic core, copper wiring, and plastic sheets. It can take a year to establish a cable route. Cables can be damaged by many disturbances such as volcanoes,
So you can see that these ocean cables travel all the way from a specific point in the ocean towards a different part of the world. So you can see that a lot of the big giant companies, they actually have these ocean cables that they use. So one thing that, Elon Musk is trying to change is, instead of the ocean cables, it could be better to have a satellite, which is the Starlink project that he's doing, so that we don't really actually need cables running around the world. That's millions and millions of kilometers of cables are still around the world. Maybe you can check this a lot and understand a lot. So you can understand that there is, for example, for the case of Ethiopia, there is a cable that's coming through the Red Sea to Ethiopia. So that is the very basic connection that we have towards connecting to the world. And this cable gets really damaged by sharks that get some, they bite them. And sometimes, even though it's not sharks, aging and everything could also be an issue. And different things actually affect this, and finally leading to a country or a lot of part of the country getting disconnected. So this is why the big giant companies like Facebook, Amazon, Google, they have their own ocean cable, at least connecting part of the continent, so that they have a better way of connectivity. I suggest that you guys actually check out more to understand a lot about the ocean cables. So there are a lot of cables that travel all around the world that connects the different part of the world. And that's the fundamental internet path that we use. So even though internet is actually wireless at the very end user point, but at the very back of it, it's still wired, and we're not wireless. So that's why Starlink, Elon Musk's company, is trying to connect. I think this is the path that Ethiopia is using. You can see the cable that is coming through the Red Sea. This is Horn of Africa's connection that is coming to Ethiopia also. This is the backbone of the internet that we have. In any case, if there is a disconnection here, then Ethiopia and most of the East African countries wouldn't be connected to the internet. Okay. So saying that about the internet, then if we know the internet, then what's a website? What's a website? 30 seconds for these insights of yours. What is a website? Okay, so let me see your answers. So Saron said website is a collection of connected web page stored in a server and accessed through the internet using browser. Perfect. Perfect. It is me said website is a collection of web page that has server. I think that's what you meant. It's me, right? Hannah H said a collection of connected page. That's good. Very Faithful Media said, could you record the videos? Of course, the video is being recorded and you can find it from this channel so that you can always revise for your exams and your projects. So we always have exams, okay? And we never say when we're going to give you the exam. So stay tuned. That's called double think. Exams are attendance plus exam results. Okay, Rafik said website is a set of related web page located under a single domain name. Good. All right. So you guys said it well. So it's a collection of web pages. So technically, when you click on a certain thing, then a new page uploads. When you click on certain things, it changes, and it keeps on changing. Those all web pages together are known as a website. And that website needs to have a certain name. And that is what we call the domain. We're going to come in a bit about that. So each web page are designed and connected together, and finally it's stored in a server. So server is something that stores every information about the website in a certain location in a part of a world. For example, when you're joining this YouTube, you're actually joining to the server of YouTube. YouTube is a website. So everything is stored in their website. Based on your request, it's going to respond to you. So when we discuss about websites, there are two things that we always need to keep in mind. The first one is the client, and the other one is the server. So the client is a side of the website, which is actually visible from the user side. The user would be dealing about this. So let's say the device you're using, for example, your laptop, your desktop, or maybe your tablet, phone, everything is going to be the client side of the website. While the server is a more powerful computer than a personal computer from the client side, which is going to be used to host the website. So whenever the user tries to request something, that request is going to be checked out through the server and an answer is going to come back. So an example could be, for example, when you log into one of your social media accounts, let's say Instagram, you put in your credentials like your password and your username. Then when you press login, then it's going to actually log in by first requesting to the server, and it comes back. So you can see that there is a client that is going to fill in the credential, and then there is a server, and finally the server comes to the client. And these steps goes on several times while you're using a website. So to put it in a very layman's word, like if we try to listen the conversation between a client and a server, this is how it looks like. So the client would ask the browser through the browser. The browser is a mediator for you to access any of the servers. So the browser or the client could ask, give me the page. And the server would respond, here are the page, here are the files. Or maybe, no, this is something that you cannot access. Or maybe for you to access this, pay this amount, subscribe here, do this and that. Or maybe login, everything that it actually requires. This is the difference between a client and a server, as you have to know it as you keep on developing through the website or web development technologies. So along the side, I have mentioned that DNS or domain name system. This is like an internet phone book. So in the earlier days, we had phone books where we register the name of a person and the phone number of that person, which we actually have it now as contacts in our phone. So we have someone's name and then someone's phone number. But sometimes, phones store way beyond that. But for the case of my explanation, consider there is a name and there is a phone number that corresponds to it. So we attached that name. Let's say, for example, I'm going to pick out someone else, Samuel Tesfaye. Samuel Tesfaye is our learner, and let's say he has a number, and his number is, let's say, 0509. I'm just saying. So is it better for me to call him 0509 or to just say Samuel Tesfaye? We all agree that Samuel Tesfaye is a better way for me to remember his name instead of remembering a code. So likewise, phone books or contacts are meant for us to remember someone's information based off their names instead of their phone numbers. The same principle applies in domain name system. So every internet that you know does have a domain name, but actually in the internet side, it's not the domain name that is important, but actually the IP address. The IP address is what's going to be called. Likewise, which is the case for phone numbers. For phone numbers, I don't actually call someone else through his name. It's actually an attachment to his phone number. You can call him directly without saving him through his phone number only. So you can see that every website does actually have a domain, an IP address. So a DNA server or a system is something that always changes the domain name into an IP address and looks for that server, and it goes finding it and comes back to you. And it does this very instantly. You would never notice what's going on. So for me to make it clear my concept, I can go ahead and say google.com, and voila, we have Google. But I could also copy this IP address and post it here, and we have Google. Maybe it's remaining with the point. I think it's like this. I may have written it incorrectly, maybe. Yeah, it should be. Let's stop it here. So I may have the IP written incorrectly here, but I'll check it through your break. So necessarily, if I had the correct IP address of Google, then it should go directly to google.com. We test this, and actually you can also test it. So I believe you've got the concept of what an IP address or a domain name server or a domain name system does. So browser and rendering is something very much related to website. So we have a couple of browsers like Chrome, Firefox, Edge, different companies with different benefits. They really differ in how you use them. Some of them may be using your RAM a lot. The others would use a less version of the RAM. But the ones using a lot of RAM could have a lot of service that comes along with it. So rendering is something that the browser does, and what it does is it puts in to the browser, like the text, the videos, and everything. Like, for example, the video that you see for this training actually is through the rendering action of the browser. Yeah, let's actually discuss about backend and frontend. Maybe let me remove this, and I'm going to ask you, what is front end and back end? Please share your pure insights. I know that some of the answers are coming from AI. For this section, for you to benefit a lot, until the project session, I really appreciate if you can use your own learning. But at the end of the project, you can be able to use AI in a way. But for now, I really appreciate that you answer from what you know. So someone said, I'm going to spot this question because this is going to be a lot of your questions. Hello, Mr. Can you share us the PPT, please? So these PowerPoints are designed for our LMS, which we're going to host for free for you to learn everything. We're going to put it there. We're working hard to host this learning management system for you all, which shall include all the videos very much recorded in a very good way, including exercises, gamified version of learning, and everything that should be coming out towards the end of this Ethiopian year. So until then, you can always check out this web video and also keep the titles, and you can always search it through different ways that you can learn. Until then, keep on answering what is a front end and what is a back end. Okay. Okay, I can see that a lot of you are answering. Let me see your answers. Okay, someone named Positive Guy said front end is interface the user sees when he or she enters a website. However, a back end is what's happening behind the scene and allows all the functionalities of the website work perfectly. Perfectly said. Ash said front end is HTML, CSS, and Java. I think you were saying JavaScript, whereas backend is back of the data, the part that people cannot see. Yeah, that's correct. Front end said elite is an interface that user can interact visually, and backend is process that undergoes within the request and response of the user from the front end. Good. Yeah, guys. So front end, it's something that we see as we use the website. So I think this image perfectly shows what front end is. You have a couple of buttons, you have some card components, everything in the front end. And this is going to be very vital for the user experience. If you don't put the right button at the right place, then it's going to be very difficult for the user to navigate through the website. So in that sense, the front-end engineer always starts from a UI UX design. That's a purely design profession with the understanding of how the user is going to interact with the website. And building that is the front end, which we are going to learn mostly in this training. So the back end is everything that happens behind the scene. The backend development is never visible to the user. And for the security reason, it shouldn't be also visible to the user. The user should never access the backend unless it's a user with the access and who's meant to use it. Unless otherwise, always users cannot access the backend. And the backend has datas, it has accounts, login, and everything. For example, let's consider the bank account that you use, for example, the Commercial Bank of Ethiopia. And then when you log in through your account, it's going to request you for your username, right? So the interface that you see is the front end. But when you put in your password and everything, when you try to log in, the one who's going to check if you're a valid user through your phone and also your password that you have entered is going to be the backend. And also, you'd like to transfer some amount of money, let's say 1,000 birr to someone else. Let's say that someone else is going to be, I'm going to choose someone to give 1,000 birr. That's going to be Zion Island. Okay, so I'm going to transfer 1,000 birr to Zion Island. This is a demo, Zion. Don't ask me after the training, where is my 1K? So let's say I'm going to transfer 1K birr to Zion Hailu. So I would have to press transfer button, and it's going to navigate me through to another page, which is going to ask me CBE or other banks and all the options. When I click to CBE, then there is a section that says account that you would like to transfer. So when I put in the account of Zion Hailu, then it's going to check who Zion Hailu is or who that account represents. So it's going to go through the back end logic and checks Zion Hailu, and then I can be able to transfer. But lastly, it's going to check when I send, it's going to check if I have 1K amount of money in my account. This is also something to be checked by the backend. So backend in a very simple words is the brain of the websites that we use, while front end is the visual aspect of it. So your facial expression, let's say your physical appearance, we can say that's a front end, but your back end is your brain, how it actually thinks, and your visual expression would change based on what you're thinking, if you're happy, if you're sad, and everything. So this training is going to focus on the front end and especially the very core aspects of front end. That's going to be HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So HTML is more of the structure of what a website is. So in the early days, HTML was used for manuscript writing in the academic world to make the formatting of the writings perfectly aligned in publications, which grew to websites actually. So if I would explain this in the human aspect, so I believe you saw a skeleton of human in your biology or science labs in any of your education path. So if you put in just the skeleton of that human being, then that's the structure that's holding up the human. If you put in a skin and a flesh on that person, even though they're not live, then we have a flesh on top of the skeleton. And when that flesh have life in it, it can be able to move his hands, talk, visualize, and everything. So HTML is the fundamental structure for our website. It's just the skeleton. And when you put some styling, like the CSS, and that adds up color, size, layout, different things to make it like the flesh of the human. And finally, when you add up JavaScript, then it starts to move in different activities in the website that you see. Like when you click a button, it can turn, flip, and different things. So that's what we call the JavaScript, and that's the interactivity that we get for our website. So these three are the fundamental things that you need to be very enlightened when it comes to website development. These are the things that are going to grow into different frameworks that you're going to use. So this training does not include frameworks. It's going to be a longer part of a training. So this is one example of fundamentally what a web HTML looks like. Okay, so this is a 1-minute challenge. These are the questions. Go ahead and answer the questions in the chat section, or you can also be able to answer it in the Telegram group. Okay, so go ahead and try answering in whichever way that you like. When you answer, make sure that you say number 1, the answer, number 2, the answer, number 3, the answer in one single shot. Don't answer it 3 times. Okay, go ahead. Let's have 1 minute for you to do this question. So it's great that you're answering, but I would like to see all the questions all at once. For example, Nuhamin has said, 1, to access the website, that's for DNS, and shows or brings it to the user. That's 2. What does a browser do with the files it receives? Number 3, what is the role of HTML? I'll answer it, the answer it all together for you. But for now, I'll go ahead and see all your answers, but make sure that you actually answer everything at once. For example, Fikadu, you've answered one of it. I would like to see all the answers all together. Okay, good. So most of you have answered it correctly, but to clarify for some of you also, let's try to discuss it all together. So what is a DNS? What does DNS help with? So DNS, as I've said, is more like a phone book to the website. It's a domain name server or maybe domain name system. So converts the website name into a server address, which is an IP address. Actually, I've tried this through the Google. I've put the IP address. This is the IP address of Google. I've written it incorrectly in the previous one. When I enter it, then I get Google. If you would like to see it on a new one, yeah. So I can also say google.com, the same result would appear. And what does the browser do with the files it receives? So the browser renders, displays the files. What is the role of HTML? HTML provides the structure of a web page. Okay, it's like a bone for the human being. The skeleton of a human being is the fundamental structure that's going to make us move, make us sit or jump and everything. Likewise, without an HTML, then we don't really have a structure for our website, and none of the HTML, the CSS or JavaScript, anything that extends could not be visible. Okay, let's go ahead and set up our tools. We're going to use VS Code. If you'd like to use other platforms, that is still okay, as long as it's working well for you. So go ahead and download VS Code. Maybe one of the assistants, can you put in the link for them to download VS Code? Put it in the chat section or also in the Telegram so that they can download it. You can also just search VS Code downloads. It's a free thing. Go ahead and download it. And also inside the VS Code, we have kind of an app place. So you can go to extensions. So maybe let me do a zoom so that you can see better. Okay, I think you can see better now. Oops. I don't know if you're seeing the correct place or not. Until you download, maybe let me check. Okay, I don't know if it's zoomed well, but so in the extension section, you can go ahead and write live server. And you see that the live server appears, and then you can click and go ahead install it. For my case, it's been already installed. So for your case, go ahead and install. So this is going to be useful for us to actually run our code in a server, in a browser. But I understand that some of you are not actually using VS Code. You are using your tablet or laptop, tablet or phone. So it's still okay. You can be able to work with this. So go ahead and write, use the website, I think, Pain.io. CodePen? Yeah, it's CodePen. CodePen.io. Use this website where you can sign up just for free, and you have place that you can write the HTML, there's a place that you can write the CSS and also the JavaScript, and whatever that you've written is going to appear here. But for you to save any of your files and everything, you should sign up. It's free. So go ahead and do that. For those of you who are using your phone, tablet, and everything, I suggest that if you're using your phone, maybe ask your family members' other phone so that you can watch the video through one of the phone and keep on practicing on the other phone. Okay, so yeah, humbly ask your sister, brother, mother, or father. Okay. How many of you have, what was the name of the website? If you meant the coding one, then here you go, Mulukan. Okay. By the way, keep in mind that your activities really matter throughout this section. We are going to really consider it for any of your cases regarding your certification. Okay, so how many of you have set up the environment? Can you give me a thumbs up, maybe in the Telegram group or also in the chat section? Okay, so I got thumbs up, and Anna said, can you repeat the steps? Okay, I will. So what you need to do is you go to VS Code download. You can just search this if you would like. But also I can put this link in the chat section, also in the Telegram section for you to find it very swiftly. And then what you need to do is go to, based on which type of computer that you're using, if it's Mac or Linux or maybe Windows, go ahead and download the one that fits you. So mostly just press the download button, never go to these ones, because if you don't know your computer very specifically, you could cause something else. Actually, it's the same thing, it's different way of installing. Just press this Windows download button, then it's going to download for you. So you pick up wherever you want it to be saved, then you just save it. And then you can, once it's saved, then double click on it and it should be good. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of people with thumbs up, that's good. Wow, we have a lot of people. So for today, to use our time, because we don't have a lot of time, I really suggest for those of you who are getting a challenge to set up the environment, go ahead and use codepen.io. I'm going to send it in the group again. and also you can find it from the chat section, so that you can set it up there very swiftly. But for tomorrow, make sure if you have to install, if you are having a PC, to install in VS Code. It's much better that way. Okay, so we have installed VS Code. We have done the live server extension, and one very important thing that I would like to critically mention is folder structure. So folder structure is very important when it comes to coding. As your code grows, it could be very difficult for you to surf through your code to find everything. So name a folder that you like every day's folder into a new folder. Give it a name, maybe day 1, day 2, and your project, and everything. And then you add these things inside of that folder: index.html, style.css, image folder, and asset folder. These two folders, these two are folders, while these two are files. So image is a way where you're going to store all your image, while assets is other things, not image, that you're going to store. So, index.html is everything that is going to be stored as the main HTML file that is going to run on the website. Maybe at the end of this training, if you develop a certain website for your business, which I've read while you're applying, then index.html is the one that's going to be hosted. Style.css is what's going to make the index.html very beautiful and everything. And image folder is going to store everything regarding pictures, photos, logos, icons in your website. And asset folder is a folder that's going to have everything, mostly not code and not pictures, PDF fonts, custom icons, maybe small code files sometimes we can put, but we avoid putting code files here if they are actively being used. Sound files are also put in asset folder. Okay, so let me try and show you how it's actually supposed to be from my side. Maybe in the desktop, let me create one folder, web development day 1. You can see this folder. Inside this folder, I can create everything. So for those of you who are using VS Code, once you create the folder in desktop, go ahead and open up VS Code. And here, I don't know if my screen is very small to see, but if it's fair enough, then go to File, then inside of File, you say open a folder, and then look for the folder that you've created. For my case, it's web development. Yeah, so because I've opened it, it didn't ask me, but it could ask, is this a valid trusted folder? You'd say, yes, it is, and then it's going to open up. So inside here, you're going to create a new file and index.html. You can see that it changed the icon for it, and you do the same as we've said for other ones also. So new file, you say style.css, and new file, I think we're done with the files, and new folder, I'm looking for image. I'm going to teach you about folder structure, maybe if we have time, because I think it's going to be a bit important. So the slash here does mean it's inside of the previous parent folder. This forward slash that you see in the slide that I've presented. I think. Yeah. Okay, so this forward slash is something that shows it's inside the parent folder project name. Okay, so we have all our assets now. Good. So this should be the end of the first section, not the class, first section. We're going to continue the class until 1 p.m. So this is a simple exercise that you're going to do. Practice makes perfect. This is a famous word from I don't know who invented this, but it's been in our community for decades, maybe century. So go ahead and try to answer this question. Don't ask AI, please. Just try to remember what you've learned, and that would activate your brain, memory also. So go ahead and answer this in the chat section or in the Telegram group, whichever you prefer. I think 1 minute should be enough for this challenge. Okay. Okay, so most of you have answered. I'm hearing a challenge, maybe some of you. Okay. So make sure that you answer all the 3 questions. Number 1, number 2, number 3. Okay, we're going to keep on having a lot of challenge between the training. So make sure that you actually keep up this training where number 1 is this, number 2 is this, number 3 is this. Okay, unless you don't know number 2 and number 3. Okay, so I mean, we're going to have a lot of coding challenge. So keep up with this discipline. So the solution is, what is the tool to use view live change? That is live server. For our case, there are a lot of tools, by the way. Okay, this is live server, which is a bit famous one when it comes to VS Code, but there are a lot of them. What is the purpose of index.html? It's the main web page file. Every web page file extends from that. For example, if you have done a website by your name, and let's say that Adonai Hagos, you have done a website and you've named it adonai.com. So when you go to adonai.com, what's going to be hosted first is going to be the index.html. Why do we create a folder structure? To organize your project file clearly. This is just a starting point, but you could have many folder structures. But keep in mind that you need to make it structured, because websites could have gigabytes of files sometimes, and you should store it in a very good manner. As the file size increase and also a lot of files, small, very lots of files, then it's going to be very difficult for you to navigate and keep on working. And also to transfer the project to the newcomers in the company, then it's going to be very challenging. It's putting your closets in a defined manner, so that it's going to be very easy for you to find your t-shirts, your shirts, your trousers, every part of your clothes. If you just dump every of your clothes in your closet, that's very bad if you're doing that. Okay, don't do that. The same applies for the folder and files. If you just dump everything in for your development files, then it's going to be very challenging for you to navigate through your code. And it's going to be very complicated very easily when the code base increases. So make sure that you keep on doing that. Yeah. Okay, let's move on to the next section. Okay, guys. So let's proceed for the next couple of minutes about learning HTML. So there are 2 basic topics that we're going to cover in this section. We're going to keep on learning the rest for tomorrow. I don't think we're going to cover everything today also. This was the plan, but we have started a bit late. That's okay, we'd cover up. So HTML document structure, there's a very basic structure that we always implement. And there is metadata. We're going to discuss about this also. Linking external files to our HTML index HTML code. And also we're going to learn core HTML elements that are being used every single time. So text element, list element, links, image, and everything. So we're going to learn about this. First, I'm going to show you a syntax of how it works. an explanation for that, and then I'm going to do an example for you, and then later on you're going to actually do an exercise, okay? So let's get started. So the one that you see on the left side is actually, excuse me for 1 second. Someone said 1 second is up. Okay, anyways, I'm just kidding. So the basic structure that you see here towards the right, towards the left side, is how our HTML is very much structured every time that you write your code, okay? So you can see this is how we start with doc type HTML. It gives a starting point, and then we start with the basic, the fundamental, I could say, the HTML, which encapsulates everything. So one thing to keep in mind is that when you write HTML code, whatever you have opened here should be closed, unless it's some syntax like doc types that you don't have to close it. So you can see that I've opened HTML here, but later when you close it, there is a / that goes here, which means this has been closed here. Likewise, the same goes for head and the body. So inside the root HTML, we have the head and the body. So everything is going to be put either in the head or in the body. So in the head, we put in metadatas, linkage, and everything. We put in files that we'd like to import here. I'd explain about metadatas in a bit. So, so I think doc type tells the browser it's an HTML5 document. This is a communication between your code and the browser. And this one is the root HTML that holds up everything. The green head is something that contains the metadata, links to your style sheets, or style sheet is CSS or JavaScript, that files that you like to access in your code. And the body is actually everything about your website is done through the body. The text, the image, the buttons, and everything else. It will be much clearer as we code. So metadata, maybe before I say, I would like to understand if you have some understanding about this. Can you write it in a group? What is a metadata? What is a metadata? You can say it in the group or also in the chat section. Okay, Haile Mariam said, Haile Amlak, I'm sorry, data about data, that's perfect. Soltake said, practice makes perfect. Okay, Soltake, we agree. We're looking for the person who have said this the first time. Who is that? I hope it's not me. I really hope. But if you say it's me, then I agree. Okay. Never mind FC. Okay, never mind FC said it's the data about data. That's perfect. Yeah. Ikram said the unviewable content of a website. Unvisible content of a website. Yeah, we can say. but there are a lot of invisible part of a website. You know, it's backend, the whole thing is not visible. Soltec said the answer for other things. Okay. Dagam said, I think metadata is a place where we set up like the language of the, yeah, that's one thing. So metadata is data about the data, like it's mostly for the browser. And a couple of settings regarding your web. Like let's say if you would like it to automatically resize in different setups, that's you would set up the metadata. Okay, just to give you a simple example, this is one metadata. So meta character set UTF-8. This ensures that the page can display all characters, like it's a Unicode character set that has most of the characters that we know, like the Arabic font, maybe, you know, Ethiopic fonts, English fonts, French fonts, and everything else. So like this, we have a couple of settings that we can put in a metadata. To avoid complications, if you understood with the character sets, then that should be okay, and we can jump to the next section. As always, you know, if you have any questions, remarks, you can put it in Telegram group or also in the chat section, so that the assistants would be responding to every single one of your questions. But also if I go ahead and see during my breaks, I could also support you. Okay, let's go ahead and do an example of what an HTML looks like. So I'm going to write in the index. Okay, so let's start coding. So doc type. So one tip as a starting learner is, you know, mostly the browsers, you know, I mean the VS Code automatically fills in. I'm going to also change this in the setting for tomorrow, not for now, today. But make sure that you do that so that you start to grasp the concepts strictly if you're a beginner, especially. So avoid auto-suggestion, okay? That won't be very useful as you're starting to learn. But as you start to develop well, then it's okay to do that. So in Python, indentation is not something that's very much mandatory. Not in Python, I'm sorry, in HTML. But it's very important that you do the indentation, because if the indentation is not correct, then it's going to be very difficult to read your code. And also for yourself to track your issues like the code bugs and everything. And also keep in mind that it doesn't show you an error in HTML, but necessarily what happens is the page that you've designed or coded is not showing up correctly. So I say head, this is the where everything like the metadata goes in, and I do the body. Okay, you can see that I've done the fundamental structure. Now I indent inside so that I can write meta character set, and what I'm looking for is UTF-8. Okay, I have double quotation here. Yeah. And this one I haven't explained to you, but it's something that is used as a metadata also for representing. Actually, it explains the meta element represent various kinds of metadata that cannot be expressed using. No, I was looking for the code that what it does, but necessarily this code that you see as faded one is for your device, for your page to be resized according to your different devices. Yeah, okay. So to keep it easy, I'm going to also show you if, let's say, I'm going to link it to my style sheet. So what we're going to do is we say link and rel, that's to mean relationship. And inside, I write a style sheet. And I give it a reference. Reference, which is the name of the file. Here I said it style.css. In any case, if you give it a different name, then make sure that you write exactly as you've said it, including the file type. Okay, I have kind of rate here because I haven't closed my bracket. And also I can say the title. Title is something that appears at the top of your browser. If we can see, for example, here you can see that the title is HTML, Chapter 2 HTML Foundation. Okay, so this is something that we're going to also do. So I'm going to say first code. Okay, so that's for the body and for the head, and inside of the body we're going to learn a lot of tags, but for now just understand the structure. So H1 is header 1. It's a very bigger version of the header. So what should I say? Most of you are Ethiopians, so I'm going to write Amharic, Salam Tamarioj. So for those of you who are not Ethiopian, I just said hello students. So yeah, that's pretty much the first website. So what we can do here is make sure that these dot is not there by saving, okay? If you don't actually save, what you're seeing is the previous version of the website. So just a simple trick, go ahead and click on whichever browser that you want it to appear, and then you go ahead into your code in index.html and you say open with live server. Voila! ሰላም ተማሪዎች እንዴት ናችሁ? አማን ነው? So this is our first code of website. Everything starts very small, but on Saturday I really believe that I'm going to see a lot of things. So for the last 10 minutes that are remaining, I'm not going to proceed anymore for the course. Maybe there's a challenge. I'm going to make this a homework, and I'm going to see what you guys are doing. Okay? How you've done it. So I'm going to copy this and put it in the Telegram group. I'm going to pin it, and you're going to do it as a homework. But for now, I think it's about time that we start our exam. We have 10 minutes. Make sure that you do your exam, okay? Prioritize when it comes to exam and attendance. We're going to send it randomly, and anyone who misses exam or attendance, is not getting a certificate. You can learn until the end, but you're not getting a certificate unless you have a very valid reason. So for any of you, you're having a connection challenge that went you offline or a power outage, then make sure that you send me personally, okay? You can find me in the group, just search Lidatu. You can find me in the community group. Just send me personally, I am disconnected from the internet, or I have a power outage, so that I can count in if you've missed the exam through that specific spot. Unless otherwise, if you miss exams, then you're not valid for your certification, okay? Okay, Daniel said, I did not understand HTML. Of course, we're going to come back to explain it a bit tomorrow. But HTML is like the skeleton for your code, as we've been trying to do. You can revisit the video after the end of the class to the specific section that we've discussed about HTML. So in HTML, we have, this is something that tells the browser that's an HTML file, and we have HTML root file that opens and closes. So as it closes, we have a forward slash that goes, and we have the head, which includes the metadata, and the body, which includes everything else. So I just put in a first header one. So the difference is, if I duplicate this, let's say, let me create another header, let's say H5, and I'm going to say, I don't know if there is a French-speaking student here. I really believe there are. So I'm going to say bonjour. So let's go ahead and save this. If I don't save this, it's not going to apply. So let me check what happened in the website. So you can see that bonjour is very small considered to the one salam tamarioj. So header 1 to 6 is the size of the text that you're putting in. Okay, so we can discuss this a bit later as we discuss about texts tomorrow. For now, we are remaining very small amount of time. So Dave is going to send you an exam in the Telegram group. So it's going to take you how many minutes? I don't know, maybe 10 minutes, I think. Hold on. So it's 5 questions. Honestly, 5 minutes is enough, but I'm going to give you 10 minutes. So Dave, give me a marker when you have sent it so that I can start the timer. No, በጣም ደግ ሰው ነኝ እና 10 ደቂቃ ላድርግላችሁ። So, Yadev, so I think the exam has been sent in the Telegram. Also, they'll be sending it in the chat section. I'm going to push the timer when it's sent in the chat section. I'm going to do it myself. Where is it? Oh, it's hard to navigate. Okay, there you go. Okay, timer is up. Okay, do your exams, and once you complete your exam, make sure that you have received, I think it's going to tell your grade. Make sure that you saw your grade. Otherwise, sometimes if you have a connection challenge and it never submits, okay? Things like that could happen. Make sure that you have a message that says your exam has been submitted. or your quiz has been submitted, the form has been submitted, something like that. Where are the questions said, Hamdi? The questions are in the link just before the text you sent. I sent it there. Maybe if it's getting difficult for you to click in the link, I'm going to send only the links. Okay, guys, I think most of you have answered the questions, filled in your quiz, but still there are a lot of people who haven't. Please make sure that you actually take time to answer this. We're going to leave it open for another 5 minutes, and then we're going to close it. It's important that you do it because it's going to be your attendance plus an exam result. That's going to be important for your certificate. Okay, so we're remaining with 9 seconds, and I would like to see emojis. How was the training today? How shall we improve? Let me know. Tomorrow we're going to start exactly at 11 Ethiopian time or 5 p.m. GMT plus 3. Okay. So make sure that you actually be on time, because we're going to spend 5 minutes revising some of the concepts. We're going to start exactly at that time, and then 5 minutes or 10 minutes revising, and then we're going to go. Okay. So any of your questions, you can always mention so that our good assistant will be supporting you. We're going to leave this live for 5 to 10 minutes so that if you haven't done that, please go ahead and do it, and you can keep on also asking questions. Voila! have a good night. Make sure to practice what we've been learning today in the tomorrow, so that you're very well good for tomorrow. Okay? Don't come to class just to learn in the class. That's going to be very bad. I don't think you're going to progress a lot. So 2 hours of lecture with me and practice, and then practice more during the day. Okay? Yeah, that's it. Have a good night. We go off now.
Thank